What is up everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be taking you through a full day of eating as well as my full supplement routine on comp prep. I hope that you enjoy this video. As always, if you do, please remember to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. Okay, before I talk you through my full supplement routine from morning to night, I really want to put a disclaimer in here because often I know when people are looking to achieve their fitness goals, the first thing they say is, what's the best protein powder? What's the best fat burner? And everyone wants, a supplement that's instantly going to help them get the results that they want. And it's super important to remember the key habits are essential, especially on a fat loss journey. So like I've always said, calorie deficit for fat loss, nutrition, sleep, water intake, our workouts, progressively training in the gym or at home with your workouts. These things are all really important, and then supplements merely supplement the habits that we've built. So there is no magical powder that is going to help you shred the fat that you want to lose. So just keep that in mind. However, I will explain as we go through the supplements how they help and how I personally find they help me on my fat loss journey. Okay, let's just start from morning through till the afternoon of my routine. So wake up at 4:30 unless I'm having a sleep in. If it's a training day, I'll have my honey on crumpets and then I move on to my Oxy Shred. Cosmic Blast, like a strawberry candy kind of flavor, is my all-time favorite because I have a super duper sweet tooth. So this has been my go-to ever since it came out in this flavor. However, if you look on my YouTube, you'll see one of my most popular videos is actually a review on Oxy Shred from when I was in university. When I'm taking a break from caffeine, then I'll use a non-stimulant based pre-workout if I feel like it. But the reason why I like Oxy Shred is because one, it doesn't give me any jitters. It doesn't have beta-alanine, which some pre-workouts have, which is what often gives you like a tingly or a scratchy feeling. I find that doesn't have too much caffeine that it gives me a crash after it. And it means that I can also have some later on in the morning without going over the recommended amount of maximum intake for caffeine for adults, which is about 400 milligrams. I'll usually have this after my crumpets and my honey, and if it's a posing day or a rest day, I'll just have it first thing in the morning just as like a sweet treat to kind of push out my first meal until later in the day. Then after that, on a training day, I will go onto my creatine with my pump. So this is kind of like my second pre-workout, and to be honest, I just really wanted to try this product from Ghost. I saw that Mack's Tuning came out with them in collaboration in a new flavor, Strawbango Margarita, and I thought I'd just try it. The flavor is like quite good. It kind of depends on your preference, but after this one, I find it's not as sweet or as flavorful. Usually Ghost products are really full of flavor, but I stacked this one with the iced tea lemonade, and these two together taste amazing. Have my pre-workout meal, which is the honey on crumpets. Then I have my Oxy Shred while I'm warming up in the gym, and then I'll stack these two together with creatine. Creatine is the most researched supplement in the industry. Like I said, supplements merely supplement your habit. I'm not saying any of these are essential, but I personally find that they help me get through my workouts and help me enjoy my shred a lot better, especially when it comes to drinking something sweet in the morning, which I like to do. I stack these three together and I kind of sip on them throughout my workout. Technically, you should have pump or your pre-workout before your workout, but I just like it for the flavor, so I sip on it throughout my workout. When it comes to creatine, you do not need a fancy branded creatine. You really just need a creatine monohydrate. I like the EHP Labs one because it's not super expensive, but it also mixes really well in whatever you want to mix it with. It's just like a fine powder. So I'll use this year round to help with my endurance and my stamina throughout my workouts, and also to help as much as I can to maintain my muscle mass, especially when shredding. Then the Ghost BCAA. So like I said, I do have a sweet tooth, and when I'm shredding, I sometimes find that in the afternoons I want something a little sweet, and I'm not a big fan of fizzy drinks. So I like to have this one here. It's the lemon crush flavor in the afternoons when I'm going for a walk, getting my steps in, or even if I'm just sitting at home working. I find that it's really refreshing, and it usually ties me over till dinner. So that's kind of like my basic routine that I have throughout the day on prep. But of course, there's other supplements that I take from Mack, including the vegan protein powder. So for those of you that are like, I struggle to get my protein intake in, whether you're vegetarian, general, pescatarian, or vegan. Protein powder is a really handy supplement that you can have in order to increase your protein intake, especially if you struggle with it. Yes, I could easily hit my protein intake without protein powder, as I do eat meat and seafood, but I just find that using a protein powder like Mack is really, again, sweet, and I like putting it into my oats or my other recipes, as you'll see on my TikTok and Instagram. So let's go through the Mack range so that you know what kind of products I love using on my prep, just to make things, like, I guess, more enjoyable. So let's start with the protein powders first. My favorite is the almond protein powders. They also have a peanut butter one. So currently my go-tos are the chopped caramel bar flavor as well as the cookies and cream flavor. I'm almost out of both of these, but my other backup flavors which I have in the cupboard are deluxe chocolate as well as the iced mocha. That and like a tiramisu layered oats or Wbff type recipe is absolutely delicious. And then they've just launched the almond protein. It's limited edition for Halloween, which is a creepy caramelized apple crumble flavor. I have not yet opened this, but I did get to have some last Halloween and absolutely loved it. So stay tuned for recipes with that. Following on from the Halloween theme, this one is brand new and it is the terrifying toffee apple flavor. These ones are only around during the Halloween kind of period, so definitely recommend these. I've already gone through a pack of them. Now, when it comes to the products from Mack, so the proteins I'll use with Wbff, with oats and baking, absolutely love them, but I did want to touch on some of my other top favorite products. The choc chip vegan protein pancakes are my go-to. I go through so much. I'll usually top them on prep with some defrosted raspberries or strawberries and some sugar-free maple syrup. Absolutely love them. I actually double the recipe for that so I can have more when I have it. As my calories get lower, of course, I have to cut back on some of these things. Other baking mixes that I love from them are the blueberry white choc muffin mix and the banana choc chip banana bread. When it comes to the banana bread, I don't make it into a banana bread. I actually make it into muffins. So I use a 6-tin muffin thing. So I find that easier to portion out as opposed to banana bread, because you never know what might happen if you make a banana bread before you know it, the whole loaf is gone. And then when it comes to the blueberry muffins, I'll honestly just make them by adding almond milk. I don't even add in blueberries if I don't have them. For the banana one, you're supposed to add in a mashed banana, but if you don't have a banana, they taste great without it. And then when it comes to the easy kind of snacks, if I'm in a rush and for whatever reason I'm not prepared, or if I've got to travel, the cookies are my favorite. So they're called the clean cookies and I love all 3 flavors. And then we have the mug cake. So the mug cake, definitely I have a favorite. They've got 3 different flavors: double choc chip, honeycomb I think is one, and then mint. I don't usually like mint flavored things, but I gave a couple to my friend and she absolutely loved it. But my favorite one is the double choc chip, and I'll usually top it with some yogurt. The reason why I use these kind of products in my everyday life is, to be honest, it's just easy to fit in these kind of treats that align with my goals. They just fit into my macros so easily. Like, I always crave things like banana bread, but I feel like making a banana bread from scratch is just a lot of effort and it's like annoying to track the macros. So if I use something like this and make muffins, I can keep them in the fridge, I can keep them in the freezer and just have them whenever I want, fit it into my calories. And then if you are vegan or vegetarian, I highly suggest using a protein powder like the almond protein powders, just because it makes it so much easier to hit your protein intake, especially when you're in a calorie deficit. So the reason why vegans or vegetarians usually find it hard to hit their protein intake when they're shredding is because a lot of the vegan sourced protein foods, such as like chickpeas or black beans and things like that, are also high in carbs. So using a vegan protein powder or something like the protein pancakes can be a really fun way to hit your protein intake whilst still achieving your goals. When it comes to my nutrition, honestly, I eat similar foods each day, give or take a few different recipes, especially if it's grocery day. I love to mix things up. Ross will usually eat the same things most days, so that's very simple. Like, I'll make his and mine in the air fryer together most of the time. It's just super simple to do that. But currently, I'm really trying my best to focus on whole foods that are going to keep me satiated. I am just 6 weeks out from the WBFF and getting closer to show day. As I get leaner, I definitely get a bit more hungry, a little bit more snappy. So anything I can do to help maintain my hunger levels, or at least control them a little bit, and to help my mood is a definite, win in my books. Starting the day off with my pre-workout honey on crumpets, the best way to measure any kind of spread is to actually put the spread on the scale, tear it, and then weigh off the scale. This means that if you lick the knife or anything like that, the grams that you've taken out of the container are already tracked and accounted for. Super simple honey on crumpets with a sprinkle of Himalayan rock salt, served up with my Cosmo Oxy Shred. Mixing up my pre-workout for the gym, so I've got my Strabango margarita in one shaker, and then I put that with some creatine and made my iced tea lemonade in a separate shaker this time, so I get 2 drinks in the gym. After my weight session and before getting on the treadmill to do steps, I decided to make my post-workout meal just so that it could sit for a little bit. I honestly scraped out every bit of yogurt that I could. All you need is some oat flour, which is just blended up oats, some cookies and cream protein powder, some yogurt, and berries of your choice. I mix it all around and then top it with the raspberries. It honestly is so much more creamy when you use oats as an oat flour as opposed to just rolled oats. I managed to hit 7,000 steps on the treadmill, and I decided it was time for breakfast. Oh my, the raspberries have defrosted, and how good does this look? Creamy, heavenly post-workout oats. Followed by a sugar-free avalanche drinking chocolate. I've been loving having this with a sprinkle of Himalayan rock salt in it. Usually around 10:30 or 11 a.m. I'll have another Cosmic Blast Oxy Shred, my all-time favorite flavor. I'll have this just kind of as my late morning snack, never any caffeine after midday, and then this just ties me over to lunch, which is at 1 o'clock. I put the chicken in the air fryer along with Ross's sweet potato and carrots for 20 minutes while I pan fry my vegetables up and cook his eggs in the pan. Topping my vegetables with a little bit of cheese and some garlic and herb salt. Here's a classic case of his meal versus my meal. So mine is a little bit smaller than Ross's. For my afternoon snack, I'm having some Manuka cold smoked regal salmon topped with garlic and herb seasoning on some corn thins. I am absolutely loving these ones right now. And for dinner, I had air-fried chicken breast along with some pumpkin and then pan-fried vegetables. And Ross had something similar. He had some vegetables, air-fried chicken, some almonds, and then he usually has his kumara air-fried after, followed by some kind of a treat. My treat was just a half pack of Jelly Light served in a glass, and that's kind of all I got to eat today. We are shredding. Okay, that wraps up my full day of eating as well as my supplement routine. I hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, if you have any questions at all or video suggestions of what you want to see more of on my YouTube channel, please drop it in the comments. I absolutely love reading and replying to your comments. And if you're feeling a little bit shy, I'm only a message away on Instagram. You can follow me on all my accounts here. I'll catch you in the next video.